Hey everybody, this is Scambit896 and I'm back with another review for today. I'm going to be reviewing American Vampire Volume 2. This is written by Scott Snyder and illustrated by Rafael Albuquerque, and as you can see from the bottom part of the spine, this is published by Vertigo, which is DC's more mature reader or mature audience line of comics. This story picks up 11 years after the events of the first story arc, and the second trade collects issues 6 through 11 of the American Vampire series. So the story opens up and we are introduced to a new character by the name of Cash McCogan, who is a tough, streetwise, hard-as-nails police chief of the Las Vegas Police Department. And the time period during which this second volume is set is during 1936, which is the known as the Great Depression. Just going to show you this brief fisticuff scene, which is illustrated by Rafael Albuquerque, as I said, as you can see there and there. We also have a guest artist on some of the pages of these issues by the name of Mateus Santaloco. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And essentially Cash is quite stressed at the moment with his professional life as the police chief for the Las Vegas Police Department, as the police force is extremely underwhelmed in terms of manpower, and he's a bit cheesed off at the fact that the Federal Bureau of Investigation have only sent 2 agents to help Cash out with keeping things under control in Las Vegas. But we find out that one of these federal agents is Felicia Book, and if you don't know who Felicia Book is, then you need to go back and read the first volume of American Vampire, which is the first 5 issues of the series. Not only that, but it's just a fantastic first volume and I highly recommend it. If you haven't checked out my re-review of the American Vampire Volume 1 trade paperback, I'll put a link below in the description. And one of the first cases that Cashel is sent to investigate is a grisly murder, and we find out that the unfortunate deceased is one of 4 gentlemen who are big investors in the Boulder Dam, which is being built in Las Vegas, and Cash is essentially trying to figure out who is out to essentially kill off all of the investors, or more importantly, why is somebody offing the investors in the Boulder Dam. We also see Skinner Sweet, who has taken up residence in Las Vegas and set himself up as a pseudo businessman, I guess you might say. Once you learn what Skinner Sweet's actually doing for a living in Las Vegas, you'll know what I mean. Also, Rafael Albuquerque also does the original series covers for the American Vampire series as well, which look just as good as his interior artwork. So essentially we have Skinner Sweet and Cashel facing off, and we also have Felicia Book losing her cool because of the personal history that she has with Skinner Sweet. Again, this is all revealed in the first story arc of the series. We also have a flashback to Cashel's earlier days with his father, who was the previous police chief of the Las Vegas Police Department, who essentially took his son under his wing and trained him to be a lawman and to enforce the law, and also passed on his code of ethics to his son in his chosen career. Here we have a great double-page spread of the near completion of the Boulder Dam, as you can see there and there. Just bear with me guys, I've just lost my place in terms of my notes. We also have some deep, dark and long kept family secrets revealed for Cash's family life, which are revealed later on in the story. And we're also reintroduced to two characters from the first story arc, Henry and Pearl Jones, as you can see there, who've actually settled down and gotten married and have been living together for the past 11 years. And they are seamlessly paid a visit by excuse me, by two members of an organization known as the Vassals of the Morning Star, who are essentially a group of vampire killers whose ultimate mission is to eradicate or take out every single species of known vampire in this world that American Vampire is set in. And we also introduced to the head of this organization by the name of Lyndon Hobbs, who essentially tries to get Pearl to reveal what the one weakness is of the American vampire species in order to take care of another known to them American vampire, but because of the ties that Pearl has to this vampire, she refuses to essentially sell out her sire or her maker to the Vassals of the Morning Star. And we find out that the person who has essentially been killing off the board of directors of the Hoover Dam has some very strong ties to Cash McCogan. As you can see, Scott Snyder is still building his American vampire mythology by introducing an even older species of vampire than the first two that we were introduced to in the first story arc, which were the European aristocratic vampires, and also the birth of the American vampire as well. We also have Cashwell's backstory, like I said, and how he actually came to be the official deputy of the Las Vegas Police Department in his younger days. This is where Mateus Santaloco fills in for a few pages for the artwork, as you can see there. And I'll just show you a brief action scene here, as these action scenes just look really, really cool, as you can see there and there. And I'll just show you one more, just because I really, really like this particular action scene. And we also have the return of a character that was thought dead in the first story arc. But it'll be interesting to see if Scott Snyder reveals how this certain character was able to essentially survive her encounter in the first story arc. As you can see, there's another double page spread of, again, fantastic artwork by Albuquerque, and one of the really cool vampire fight scenes, as you can see there and there. Overall, this was another really great second volume of the American Vampire series. The writing and the artwork by Scott Snyder and Rafael Albuquerque are still absolutely stellar, and like I said, I really like the fill-in artwork by Mateus Santaloco, but just as a personal preference, I do prefer Rafael Albuquerque's art style. But then again, like I said, that's just my personal preference. If I had to give this second volume a rating, I'd give it an absolute 4.5 out of 5. Still a really, really strong second volume. I'm really, really interested to see where the story goes in the next volume of the series. If you're a fan of Scott Snyder from his work on Batman, Swamp Thing, Severed, or any other work that Scott Snyder has done, if you haven't picked up American Vampire, I highly recommend you do so. You know, if you're a fan of Vertigo comics, if you want a really engaging and engrossing tale with vampires in it, American Vampire is the book for you. Or if you're a fan of vampires and you want to read the next best thing with vampires in it, like I said, you need look no further than American Vampire. So like I said, 4.5 out of 5 for American Vampire Volume 2. Highly recommend you get into the series if you haven't already. And with that, that concludes this review video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. As always, feel free to leave some comments in the comment section. And I will talk to you guys later. Take care.